Hi, I'm Beth Baldwin, and I will be your tour guide today. I'd like to introduce you to the team. Please let me introduce you to Ann, our tour director, and Ed, our motor coach driver. And we'll be taking you through the North Beach all the way down to Fisherman's Wharf. But first, I want to start with a little trivia. How many of you believe that North Beach was actually a beach? For those of you that answered yes, you're right. Believe it or not, North San Francisco North Beach area was at the northernmost part of the Bay Area, surrounded by water. And it was really the mecca for the beginning of the gold rush. And many people came from all over the country and lived in the Barbary Coast. And it was decadent and it was fun and it was called the Red Light District. So that was some historical things there. Now, as we drive down on Montgomery, you're going to look to your right and you're going to see the most iconic building in San Francisco, which is the Pyramid Building. And for many years, it was the tallest skyscraper. Recently, it was passed by the Salesforce Tower, which is now the 13th tallest skyscraper in the United States. For those of you who are from London, Salesforce Tower also has a big skyscraper there, but the Shard outpaces it by about 40 floors. So now the Shard and the Pyramid are similar architecture. They're built in a pyramid style with glass. So I thought that was some interesting similarities there. So as we motor coach down, you'll see Washington Square Park, which is the oldest park in San Francisco. And believe me, there are many, many parks here. It's over 200 parks in San Francisco. But it's also a historic landmark, and many things have happened in this park. To the right, you'll also see the St. Peter and Paul's Cathedral, which is considered the Italian Cathedral of the West. It was a place where people came to church, they got married, and one of our most famous denizens, Joe DiMaggio, a famous baseball player, was married to his first wife here. He brought his second wife, Marilyn Monroe. I'm sure you've heard about her, actress, here to live. And then he died here. So St. Paul's Cathedral also has a lot of history and beauty too. Now, the intersection of Grant and Stockton, Grant and Columbus are symbolic of the feeling about parks here in the Bay Area. Washington Square Park at any time can be found. Many, many young people come on their lunch break, so you'll have the professionals from the financial districts along with the people from Chinatown commingling together at lunch at Washington Square Park. It's a great place to see, especially if you're working down here. The other thing that is absolutely fascinating is in the morning, early in the morning, at any of these little parks down here, you'll see elderly men and women, Chinese men and women, practicing Tai Chi. Now, Tai Chi is a form of martial arts, but it's internally focused. And it's very mystical to see, especially in the fog. So it's just a very cool thing that if you get a chance to walk around the park early in the morning, you should try to do that. Now, did I mention food? Because North Beach has the best food anywhere. It's called Little Italy for a reason. And I wanted to mention a great place that I love to eat called Original Joe's. Original Joe's is a quintessential Italian restaurant in San Francisco. And almost every year it's rated the best place to eat in San Francisco. So if you get a chance to come here, you should try the Joe's Special, which is a great dish made of 6 ingredients. And I've actually made it at home myself. It's very easy to make. It's ground beef, mushrooms, onion, garlic, mushrooms, and spinach. And you serve it over pasta with a big piece of sourdough bread. It's really authentic Italian food. It's fantastic. So as we go down on Columbus Avenue, we're going to hit Telegraph Hill. Now, Telegraph Hill was one of the 7 original hills in San Francisco. As you know, San Francisco was built on hills. Telegraph Hill, what I like about Telegraph Hill is that Coit Tower is there. So Coit Tower is a beautiful landmark in San Francisco, and it has panoramic views. So if you go to the top of Coit Tower, you can see everything from the Golden Gate Bridge to the East Bay Bridge. What I also like about Coit Tower is when you come in, the entrance is beautiful. It's got murals that were replicas of American life in the Great Depression. And there's 25 artworks there. They're bright colors, and they really depict the working class Californians who survived the Great Depression. So it's very interesting and beautiful place to visit. So their most famous person, the person who gave the money to build Coit Tower, was Lily Hitchcock Coit. Now, she was quite a lady, and she really blended the boundaries between what was acceptable for women in the 1900s. Not only did she drink, cuss, and gamble, but she also smoked cigars. So she was quite a character in her own way. When she died, they took the proceeds, some of her proceeds, and they built Coit Tower. Now, if you look at the top of Coit Tower, it looks like a part of a fire hose. That's because she loved the firefighters. But there's a reason she loved the firefighters. They actually saved her from her burning house when she was 9 years old. So her affection for firefighters is well known in the Bay Area, and that's, we believe, is what Coit Tower is kind of all about. Her passion and willingness to be generous to the firefighters who she believed in so much. Now, as we go down to Fisherman's Wharf, you can smell the seafood, and you can look out and see the view of the bay. But you also might smell something called sea lions. So the sea lions came to Pier 39 after the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. Hundreds of them showed up out of nowhere. Now, they definitely have a smell. They don't smell good, but they're old. They can live to be 25 years old. Most of the sea lions on the